Hello.
Let's begin, shall we?
Hello there. Let us get started. We're starting off like we always do with our movie puzzle. We got 10 minutes on the clock to try to figure out the answer to the puzzle, because that's how puzzles work. Could it be? Bad fitty. That's the second time that's happened. Boom. Alright. Because we got that one that quickly, we're going to fill in the grid. Oh, we got Cold Mountain again. Damn it. Alright. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Ewan McGregor, maybe? No. So episode 2 and a... Let's go Natalie Portman. Why not? This one's gonna be Joel Edgerton. Gangs of New York. The Great Gatsby would be Leonardo DiCaprio. Keira Knightley, question mark? Yeah. Gangs of New York. Wait, was Liam Neeson in this? He was. And then The Great Gatsby, Pride and Prejudice, I'm gonna guess Carey Mulligan? Alright. Now, who is in Cold Mountain? I have no idea. We might just need to look this up. So Jude Law and Nicole Kidman, okay. And Renee Zellweger. Okay, so Natalie Portman was in it, so that'll give us our Star Wars one. Ray Winstone, I have a feeling, was in Gangs of New York. He was not. Okay. We'll be throwing around some guesses here in a second. Brendan Gleeson is going to be my next guess. Okay. Then we'll guess for that. Nope. He was not also in Pride and Prejudice, 2005. Was Jude Law? That seems like the obvious choice. Okay, and it was not. Would it have been Cillian Murphy? Question mark. No. Kathy Bates? No. Oh. Oh, because she wasn't in this movie. I do not know. Pride and Prejudice, 2005. So, Donald Sutherland, I think. I saw them both. That was rough. We did pretty good on, you know, movies we've seen. So, there's that. We'll take our wins where we can get them. We are in the wrong project. Okay. Let us make sure we have everything set up. So we are in scene 39. So I did have an idea. Because I'm gonna have to change all the Shawnee, because the translator we were using is garbage. I was trying to think of a nice and appropriate word. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back. I think I can go back into the video archive when we were writing it and see what the input text was for these, which will take a bit, but I don't know. It might be the only option we have. So, I'm going to do that at some point, and we'll fix it when we fix it. But for now, we are moving on. We are on to scene 39. Okay, yeah. So previously, we basically had Hélène showing up to the Shawnee settlement. She was greeted by some delegates, and then led into the council house, but the Shawnee interpreter was basically told her, we don't speak business at night, so you have to wait till tomorrow. So Helene's just like, alright, fine. So this is picking up directly after that. We're having Hélène go into another longhouse where she finds a mysterious stranger, or she walks past a mysterious stranger. So that's where we're at. So let's get into it. Scene 39, exterior Shawnee Council House. So we have interior. Is that what we called it? Yes. We need our year, 1681. After having eaten, okay, that we don't need. Hélène is marshaled by the Shawnee interpreter from the council house into an adjacent longhouse. Hélène is marshaled by the Shawnee interpreter from the council house. Yeah. I mean, that conveys what that shot is going to be. I think we nailed it. Alright. On to 40. Interior, Shawnee Longhouse continuous, 1681. Hélène, we don't need as. So stepping into this longhouse. Mookie, hi, hello, welcome in. How's the progress? Still a continuation of the first pass through. This is our first editing pass through of this project, yes. It is slow going, but I'm fine kind of taking it slow and trying to make sure we get everything the way we want it. But yeah, progress is a little slow, but we're 30 pages in, so we have about 90-ish left to go. So we're about a quarter of the way, so it's progress. We'll take it. But how are you doing? How's your week going? I think we just need stepping in. Hélène notices how different yeah, I think we just need to rewrite this line. Hélène steps into the quiet, dark, wooden structure. Good deal, everything is groovy on the end. Sort of like a giant disco ball of fun. Nice. Hélène steps into the quiet, dark, wooden structure. The Shawnee interpreter. The Shawnee interpreter crosses to the far end. Halting, Hélène. Okay. So interior, Shawnee Longhouse, continuous, 1681. Hélène steps into the quiet, dark wooden structure. We would need a comma after dark. Because quiet, dark, and wooden are all adjectives. Yeah. Hélène steps into the quiet, dark wooden structure. The Shawnee interpreter crosses to the far end. Halting, Hélène notices a woman with medium-length, wavy brunette hair. Woman. So let's change this. Halting, Hélène notices a pale, sick woman with medium-length, wavy brunette hair sleeping under a blanket. Wait, wait, no, we don't need one there. Alright, so we're changing this around. Is this a Witch movie Captain Marvel crossover? No, this is just a Witch movie, Rad. Captain Marvel's just for Sundays. I missed the day 69. Can you please make the title day 69? Sorry, Rad. It's up in the VODs and it's up on the YouTube, so you can go check it out there if you so wish. I'll wait for Captain Marvel day 69. So I don't know that I'm doing days with the Captain Marvel one, because I feel like that might keep people away if they see the title of the stream is we're on day 70 of this. So someone who might click on it will be like, well, they're 70 days in, so I don't know if I'll be able to catch up. So I think with Captain Marvel, I'm getting rid of those for the stream, but I probably keep them for the YouTube channel just to keep the order correct. Alright. Interior Shawnee Longhouse continuous, 1681. Hélène steps into the quiet, dark, wooden structure. The Shawnee interpreter crosses to the far end. Halting, Hélène notices a pale, sick woman with medium-length, wavy brunette hair sleeping under a blanket. Hélène doesn't recognize Margaret. Hélène. In Explorer? Looking back to Hélène, then to the woman, the Shawnee interpreter nods. Sick. Much sick. Hélène. She's lucky she was found. Starting to feel tired, Hélène looks back to the Shawnee interpreter, who motions her to a cot. Hélène makes her way over. I'm going to have an extra beat here of Hélène looking at Margaret's face. Looking at the unfamiliar woman's face. Senses. We forgot to open Arthosaurus. Looking at the unfamiliar woman's face, Hélène senses a strange feeling. I don't want to jinx it, but I got ads by it playing up the corner, so I can still. Oh, yeah, that happened in some ads the other day on a channel I was watching. And then another one, they had the ad, they like shrunk the main video a little bit and they had the ad next to it, which was really weird. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Looking at the unfamiliar woman's face, Hélène senses a strange feeling. Oh no, you jinxed it. There. Okay, I think that would work. Sweet. Hi back, I'm Rad. Alright, let's see if this scene works a little better, adding that extra beat in there. Interior Shawnee Longhouse Continuous, 1681. Hélène steps into the quiet, dark wooden structure. The Shawnee interpreter crosses to the far end. I am not back. I am rad. Okay. Structure. Part storehouse. Part guest house. Okay, let's just try to describe it. Hélène steps into a quiet, dark, wooden structure. Cots line the walls, a fire pit. So how would we describe the fire pit if it's just... if it's just embers that are left? A fire pit of embers? Or like a fire pit reduced to embers? Yeah. Alright. Again from the top. Hélène steps into the quiet, dark, wooden structure. Cots line the walls surrounding a fire pit reduced to embers. Got a better idea of what this space looks like now. I think this might need just is its own sentence. Cots line the walls surrounding a fire pit reduced to embers. You're in embers. What kind of cots? Time period appropriate. Shawnee appropriate. They're made of wood. Probably animal hide leather. Covered with hand-woven blankets. Hélène steps into the quiet, dark wooden structure. Cots line the walls surrounding a fire pit reduced to embers. think we can take that out and just cots around a fire pit reduced to embers. Yeah. Cots around a fire pit reduced to embers. The Shawnee interpreter crosses to the far end. Gonna switch that. Hélène steps into the quiet, dark, wooden structure. The Shawnee interpreter crosses to the far end. Cots around a fire, reduced to embers. Halting, Hélène notices in one of the cots a pale, sick woman with medium-length, wavy brunette hair sleeping under a blanket. Hélène doesn't recognize Margaret. Hélène, an explorer? Looking back to Hélène, then to the woman, the Shawnee interpreter nods. Sick, much sick. Hélène. She's lucky she was found. Looking at the unfamiliar woman's face, Hélène senses a strange feeling. Shawnee interpreter. For asleep? Hélène looks to the Shawnee interpreter motioning to an empty cot. Realizing how tired she is, Hélène nears the cot. I feel like we say cot a lot, but that's what's there. That's what they're doing. They're in cots. They're going to cots. They're sleeping. And then we use looking quite a bit, so we'll say glancing. There's no E in there's an E in glance, but not in glancing. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like adding that extra beat of Hélène looking at Margaret again, like sensing something, and then kind of being the Shawnee interpreter bringing her back and her kind of like, I think that works. The cot next to the cot where she sat next to the cot by the cot where the other witch sat that other time when they were on the cots. Exactly. See? Brad's paying attention. I like it. Emerging from the exterior Shawnee settlement day 1681. Emerging from the longhouse into the morning sun, Hélène finds the Shawnee interpreter waiting for her. Okay, so Shawnee interpreter is female. Okay, that's fine. We don't. Emerging from the longhouse. Emerging from the longhouse, Hélène finds the Shawnee interpreter awaiting. Motioning Hélène to follow. she leads her into 42. Alright, interior Shawnee Council House, continuous. Hélène enters the longhouse to find it transformed. No longer a casual center of community, but the bustling center of activity, the chief presiding over it all. Okay. Entering Hélène. Interior Shawnee Council House continuous, 1681. Entering, Hélène finds it transformed. No longer a casual center of community, but entering, Hélène finds it transformed. No longer a casual center of community, now a bustling center of activity, the chief presiding over it all. Following the interpreter, Hélène is led through the crowd toward the chief. Okay. Following the interpreter, Hélène is led through the crowd towards the chief. Following the interpreter, Hélène is led through the crowd. Nearing the chief. Scene 42. Description of the chief. Major has arrived! Major is living the Amish life at the moment. Sorry, Major, I don't mean to laugh, but you did just send the same message twice, which I think proves your point. I do think she has the shittiest service right now. 3 bars in a dream. Yeah, I think that's what it's like when you get near some of the national parks I was at the other week. Like, you see 1 bar, you're like, ain't no shot. You see 2, you're like, maybe, but probably not. But when you see 3 bars, you're like, all right, I'm gonna give it a shot. And yeah, you got 3 bars in a dream. Nearing the chief, they wait for another Shawnee to finish their conversation with her. Yeah. I think that works. Keep saying my messages aren't sending. We're seeing at least some of your messages. Think I preserved my watch streak. Nice. Let's see, you would be up to... We're at 70, plus the Captain Marvel, plus the 2 others, so you should be at 74. So Thursday, if all goes well, you should hit the 75 stream streak, if my math is mathing. Yeah, but it would have been understandable. And I think you can preserve it up to a certain point after the last stream if you watch part of the VOD, because I've had those notifications for some of the streams that I missed. But don't worry, Major. I know you've been here for all of them, because you're the best. Should be 72. So I think this one should be 73 for you. Because we're at 70 for Fire in the Night. And then we had the 2 community streams and the 1 Captain Marvel stream. No, I must maintain my stat. I appreciate you, Major. Wait, what's what? I'll hang around and be super late to the party. Okay. I feel like naming this one Shawnee Civilian, Shawnee something. We want a noun. A common person. Pleb. I feel like commoner might work. Alright. Let's go back to the start of this one, because I feel like I might have lost the thread. Alright. Interior Shawnee Council House. You are maintaining the streak, Major. Entering, Hélène finds it transformed. No longer a casual center of community, now a bustling center of activity. The chief presiding over it all. I think we'll add a line about a description for the chief, but I have to think about that. Following the interpreter, Hélène is led through the crowd. Nearing the chief, they wait for a Shawnee commoner to finish their conversation with her. Appeased, the Shawnee commoner nods, then departs. The chief turns her gaze to Hélène. You're back down to 2 bars is... Oh no, not 2 bars. Shawnee chief says in Shawnee, who is this? Shawnee interpreter, chief wants to know name. Chief want no name. Hélène. Yes. Brad, go out to Major's house and repair her internet. Chief asks why you here. Hélène, I was sent to you by Seraphina. Sent you. I'll start daisy chaining network extenders from my house to you. There you go. Brad coming up with solutions. I was sent to you by Seraphina, witches, daughters of Diana. The hunters are stalking spellcasters, capturing or killing them. Like your help in resisting, stopping them from killing. I represent the daughters of Diana. Jones says we have food when you get here. Major had some delicious looking, I think it was pasta. That I saw on Instagram. Tacos or pasta, your choice, plus, you know, liquor. Liquor, I hardly know. No. I'm here on behalf of the daughters of Diana. Supposed to have tacos for dinner today, but I ended up making spaghetti. Spaghetti's always a solid choice. Yeah, your pasta looked very good, Major. I'll post in your Discord since I don't think Rad has my Insta. Okay. You are always welcome to post in the Discord, Major. On behalf of the Daughters of Diana... Rude. They're not stalking watches, they're stalking witches. On behalf of the Daughters of Diana, I'm here to ask for your help. Hunters are stalking witches, capturing, killing us. You hid in the wood under these gods. We'll take out that part, because... Adds beer. Okay. The interpreter looks to Hélène, questioning. Your words. No. Shawnee interpreter shakes head. Your words, no. Hélène tries to maintain her composure. What words do you not understand? Meep. No rude, just rude. Lol. um... The interpreter looks at Hélène, questioning. Shawnee interpreter shakes head. Your words, no. Flustered, Hélène tries to maintain her composure. Hélène, what words do you not understand? Shawnee interpreter, Diana, witch? Contemplating, an idea catches Hélène. She looks to the interpreter. Oh my god, you guys are twinsies! Sorry, that was rude. Contemplating, an idea catches Hélène. She looks to the interpreter. What if I showed you? The interpreter nods. Curious. Curious. Only one eye and curious. Curious, the interpreter nods. Focusing, Hélène draws her hands in a precise motion. Exquisitor. The interpreter's eyes widen. Go blank. Alarmed, the chief and the rest of the Shawnee look to Hélène. I feel like they would have more of a reaction than just looking at Hélène. Okay. The interpreter's eyes widen, go blank. Alarmed, the chief does something. Whispers spread through the Shawnee crowd. Dispassionate, the interpreter's words are exact. Hélène, magic. Now we can talk. Need to figure out what the chief's reaction is. But we are at an hour into stream, so I think this might be a good time for a quick break. I'm not evil, I'm just drawn that way. Jessica Rabbit, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Alright, we are going to play some words on stream for anyone who would like to and is able to. Yeah, letters will be on stream. You use the letters to make words. You wait for the timer to hit the locks. You know how it goes. I'll be back shortly. Good luck. Have fun. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
I'm back.
It's gonna be close. Ooh, Rat pulled away with it. Getting the seller and caller, both of those. I thought of both of those, but I was up refilling my drink, so I wasn't able to input them. So, but still, well done, everyone. It's a team game. We did great. I was not pooping red, but it's okay. Major, you still did amazing. Where are the things? Words on stream go away. I return. Hi, hello. Rad. Major, not having the internet for a day might have changed you. That was aggressive. Just a little bit. You did terrific for your circumstances. Yes. Alright. The interpreter's eyes widen, go blank. Alarmed, the chief leans in. Whispers spread through the Shawnee crowd. Shawnee chief. In Shawnee. What have you done? Interpreter. What have you done? Dispassionate. The interpreter's words are exact. Helene. Magic. Now we can talk. What have you done? What have you done? The Shawnee have boundaries. There definitely is a failure of communication. Wait! What am I waiting for? Did you mean for the interpreter to speak there twice? Yeah, you're correct. This should be the chief. Well done, Matt. Well done, Rad. Well spotted. I'm not mad. Wait. Oh, I see what I was doing. Because the interpreter has to interpret both ways. You're rad, not mad. Don't get mad, get rad. That is correct. Helene retreats. Shawnee guards close in. I'm guessing after which. So we need to note that they are there. Before and after which? An American cheeseburger. Hi, hello, welcome in. How is your week doing so far? There. Yes, the witch trials are continuing. So like this major? Besides the funeral? Aw, that's too bad, I'm sorry. Your Aw, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's been a while for me with most of my grandparents, so still, it's never fun. So, yeah, sorry you had to go through that, but hopefully they lived a long and fulfilling life. He went peacefully with all those around him, no pain. That's best case scenario. Unless we say something. This is not what magic is used for. Yeah, I think that's probably... and then no italics for him. Maybe? There we go. Yay, live full life, grown up as boy, ruins of war-torn city, surviving and escaping dictatorship, moving across the ocean, new country, making life for himself and his family. That is a lot to go through. Yes, what Major said. We are sending all the love and good vibes to you and your family. Other choice. Helene exits. Alright, let's go back through this scene and see if this makes any sense. Or if this works. Alright. Interior, Shawnee Council House. Continuous. Entering, Helene finds it transformed. No longer a casual center of community, now a bustling center of activity, the chief presiding over it all, flanked by guards. Following the interpreter, Helene is led through the crowd. Nearing the chief, they wait. They wait as a Shawnee commoner converses. Nearing the chief, they wait as a Shawnee commoner converses with her. Appeased, the commoner nods, then departs. The chief turns her gaze to Helene. Shawnee chief. In Shawnee, asks, who is this? Shawnee interpreter. Chief wants no name. Helene. Helene. Shawnee chief. What is your business? Shawnee interpreter. Chief asks why you here. Helene. On behalf of the Daughters of Diana, I'm here to ask for your help. Hunters are stalking witches, capturing, killing us. The interpreter looks to Helene, questioning. Shawnee interpreter, your words, no. Flustered, Helene tries to maintain her composure. What words do you not understand? Diana? Witch? Contemplating, an idea catches Helene. She looks to the interpreter. What if I showed you? Curious, the interpreter nods. Focusing, Helene draws her hands in a precise motion. Esquesor. The interpreter's eyes widen, go blank. Alarmed, the chief leans in. Whispers spread through the Shawnee crowd. Shawnee Chief, what have you done? Shawnee Interpreter, what have you done? Dispassionate, the interpreter's words are exact. Hélène, magic. Now we can talk. Shawnee Interpreter repeats it. Shawnee Chief, this is not what magic is used for. Shawnee Interpreter, this is not. Interrupting, the chief stands, points to Hélène accusatory. Which, you are evil. The interpreter repeats it. Hélène, I'm not evil. Shawnee Interpreter repeats it. Shawnee Chief, leave now, witch, or you will die. Shawnee Interpreter repeats it. Hélène retreats. Shawnee guards close in. Hélène, I'll leave, but this is just a misunderstanding. Shawnee Chief, there is no misunderstanding. This is evil. You are evil. Knowing she has no other choice, Hélène exits. Boy, that escalated quickly. Yeah, I feel like that hits everything that I want in the scene, though. Yeah. Alright, let's move on. Scene 43. We do need to go back into that previous scene and add a descriptor for the Shawnee Chief, but we'll hit that later. Alright. Exterior, Dianic Outpost, Appalachian Mountains, night, 1681. Exhausted from her this is what happens when you don't talk to people for most of the day and then you start talking a lot. You start mumbling and tumbling over your words. Exterior, Dianic Witch Outpost, Appalachian Mountains, night. Exhausted from her long journey, Hélène walks her horse toward the makeshift outpost. English is odd sometimes. Exactly. Did we change what we called this previously? We're scrolling. Dianic Witch Outpost, yeah. You can lead a horse to an outpost, but you can't make it sit on a... You're not wrong, Rad. Do you ever get a chance to look into the Hammer of Witches? No, I saw that on my notes and I meant to look into it, but I didn't get a chance to. Yeah, we still have your message here. Let's look into it. Why not? We don't have anything better to do. Dark. There we go. Sorry if Wikipedia flashbanged anyone. The Malleus Maleficarum, usually translated as the Hammer of Witches, is best known treatise about witchcraft. It was written by a German Catholic clergyman, Heinrich Kramer, under his Latinized name, Henricus Institutor, and first published in the German city of Speyer in 1486. Where Kramer presented his text in an official position in the Catholic Church. Book was condemned by top theologians of the Inquisition at the Faculty of Cologne for recommending legal procedures. Papal. My husband is eating cheese whiz on a blueberry bagel. I'll be back. That's required. Alright, Major. Okay, so I'm kind of thinking if we incorporate this in our world, it'll probably be more as part of the backstory of the world. In saying that it's how they hunted. Yeah. That this was created in, 1486, 1487. This could have been when the hunters were created in this world. And kind of they were originally sanctioned by this part of the church, and this is kind of when they started and have been going since then. And they feel like this is what gives them the authority to do what they're doing. Yeah, the justification. Yeah, I feel like that probably fits with the version of the world that we have, but I do think it is an interesting idea, and we might incorporate it in some way. So the first thing I want to... First published in Germany, in the German city, 1940 or 1496. And that. Serious. Hi, hello. How's it going? The Hammer of Witches is ridiculous, like 500 pages describing how important it is to cross your T's and dot your I's, while killing witches as thinly veiled justification for sexist violence. And it was one of the top-selling books for hundreds of years. Okay, interesting. feel like this is the best kind of description. The Malleus classifies sorcery as heresy, a severe crime at the time, and recommends that secular courts prosecute it accordingly. The Malleus suggests torture to get confessions and death as the only certain way to end the evils of witchcraft. When it was published, heretics were often sentenced to be burned alive at the stake, and the Malleus suggested the same for witches. Despite its condemnation by some members of the church, the Malleus was very popular. It was weird, tried half a bagel, and then handed it back to the master. Yeah, like, the only thing I'm not sure about with that major is the blueberry bagel. I know it's not a, blueberry bagels don't have like a strong blueberry flavor, but I feel like a more savory bagel would probably work better with the Cheese Whiz. But that's just my 2 cents. I am not the master. The book was famously used to condemn 20 people during the Salem witch trials. An untold amount of people were killed in Europe during the witch scares and Protestant Reformation. Well, yeah. Entire city populations were put to the sword because of this event. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there is a place later on in our story where we talk much more specifically about the past for these witches, so we might tie it more directly into that, saying, like, the church published this book, and that's when the hunters were formed, and that's when we had to start running. But yeah, it's very interesting. And like, I feel like I obviously knew about like the Salem witch trials, the witch scares in early colonial America, but I didn't know that it tied back specifically to this text and when and where it was created and all of that. So it's very interesting. Yeah, that was very helpful. Thank you. I don't know that we need that part. Just Helene makes her way into. Sometimes I over-explain stuff when I feel like we just need to like streamline, make it clear. She's not bringing the horse in with her. Justice for the witches. Yes. Oh. Oh no, I'm with you, Major. Exhausted from her long journey, Helene walks her horse toward the makeshift outpost. Exhausted from her long journey, Helene walks her horse. I feel like we just need that. Using religious justification for wholesale slaughter is never a good thing. Agreed. But they did it quite a bit. Looking at you, Islam. More than just Islam, but yes. Husband is now making me my own Cheese Whiz free bagel. Nice. We had some really good bagels one morning for breakfast up in Lake Tahoe. They were really good. They were like made in the place and like you could get them custom with whatever you want on them. Very delicious. I think we should all be legally allowed to use religion as an excuse to kill one person. Hmm. Or all the major religions have done it, but they're the ones who are doing it the most current. Yeah, that is probably true. Major has a good question. Just the one? The Witch Hunt of 2026. Or the Purge. Oh, we need our year. Continuous 1681. I'll allow more if they either really deserve it, if they're really annoying. That seems fair. Husband is warming butter in the microwave, so I don't start a purge. We need to get Major an excellent bagel and her internet back so she does not start a purge. Pronto. Alright, interior Dianic Witch Outpost continuous, 1681. Hélène approaches Seraphina. Hélène, that was a disaster. Seraphina, what happened? Hélène, it was impossible to talk to them, so I tried showing them in. I told you this was a waste of time. Seraphina, building relations, asking others to stand up against the hunters, that is a waste of time? Hélène, we could be doing so much more. All those coming to this new world for a new life, there are witches among them. There has to be. That's who we should be finding. Seraphina, like when I found you? Hélène looks around at the... What colony is this taking place in right now? So... This is... Where we are currently for this scene is in the Appalachian Mountains. Probably around Tennessee. Virginia, yeah, around. Could be doing so much more. Seraphina. Um, Tennessee wasn't admitted to the United States until 1796. Yeah, I'm just saying what would be present day Tennessee. But at this point in time, the Appalachian Mountains were probably very uninhabited, and so it just basically we needed a place that was, yeah. Yeah, I don't know exactly what colony it would have been at the time, but possibly, yes. He put pizza toppings in the bagel butter. I'm assuming that's a good thing. Um, so we want to say she's more than annoyed, maybe not quite irate, but close. Seething, Hélène approaches Seraphina. Okay. So let's run this back. Exterior, Dianic Witch Outpost, Appalachian Mountains. Night, 1681. Exhausted from her long journey, Hélène makes her way into Interior, Dianic Witch Outpost, continuous. Seething, Hélène approaches Seraphina, interrupting her conversation with other Dianic witches. That was a disaster, Seraphina. What happened? It was impossible to talk to them, so I tried showing them, and I told you this was a waste of time. Seraphina, building relations, asking others to stand up against the hunters, that is a waste of time? Hélène, we could be doing so much more. All those coming to this new world for a new life, there are witches among them. There has to be. That's who we should be finding. Seraphina, like when I found you? Hélène looks to the other Dianic witches. No, I don't feel like that needs to be there. Would have been claimed by England and Virginia and fought over by France in 1756 when an obscure colonial officer under the name George Washington accidentally started a war with France. Yeah, we're currently in 1681, so we're obviously before that on the timeline, but I'm assuming a lot of this land at that time, um, like Native Americans might have lived in that area, but a lot of like colonial settlements wouldn't have moved that far inland and wouldn't have gone up the mountains. has to be. Could be doing so much more. Is coming to this world for a new life. There are witches among them. There has to be. That's who we should be finding. Like when I found you. Alliances begging for help. Slowly pushing in at this time, building wooden, stone, star forts up and down the Appalachians. Yeah. That's what I think it should be. Alright, Hélène, we could be doing so much more. All those coming to this new world for a new life, there are witches among them. There has to be. That's who we should be finding. Seraphina. More like you? Hélène, begging for help will only get us so far. If we want to stand a chance against the hunters, we have to strengthen our numbers. Considering Helene's words, Seraphina looks to the other Dianic witches. Considering Helene's words, Seraphina glances to the other Dianic witches. Acceding, Seraphina nods. That and fear. Was constant rating, which probably stands are building more forts inland. That and fear of each other. Yep. So will they have to be dodging colonial soldiers, trappers, mercenaries? No, I'm not going down that path because I feel like the hunters are kind of filling that aspect of this kind of force that they could run into at any moment. I believe that's still 1681. Alright, so 45. I want to go back to which tribe did they make a deal with to live on their lands? So they didn't make a deal with anyone. They basically set up a makeshift outpost, and because they are witches, they can create an illusion field around it so that no one knows they are there. Yeah, I feel like that fixes that because it seemed just weird that like Seraphina glances to the other witches and then she just agrees, and I feel like Hélène just needs that final exclamation point on her argument. See. Okay, yeah, this scene's kind of long, so I don't think we'll be able to get through it before what our normal end of stream is, so we might call it here for today. So, yeah. So, we made some progress. We went from page 30 up to 35, so yeah, we are making a bit of progress. And that's the name of the game. Yeah. It's pretty good progress. Thank you. I agree. Let us look and see who else is streaming, and we will get a raid going. We rated Chrissy last time, so let's go right over to another writer. / raid. Other side. There we go. Alright. We're gonna get a raid going. Raid 2. Alright, we got our raid messages for anyone who would like to use them. First one is for anyone with a subscription. The second one should work for anyone who is following. Thank you to everyone who stopped by, hung out, lurked, chatted, all the stuff, all the things. I appreciate it. We will be back on Thursday to do some more editing, pick up where we left off today, and then on Sunday we will pick up with our Captain Marvel project and continuing to write with that. So that is what is upcoming. Yeah, if you want to hang out in the Discord, we sometimes do stuff in there. Otherwise, I hope everyone has a great week and hope to see you next time. Bye.
Thanks for checking out my channel. Thanks for checking out my channel. Do whatever you want. Live your life. Hope you're happy in your body. Much love to you. And see you around.